you're not going to click on the ad. Remember, we're in an era of 0 clicks. What you're going to do is you're going to pick up the phone because you saw an ad, and you're going to say, hey, Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, who does full mouth restorations in my town? And oh, by the way, I want somebody who has got great reviews and is known for a gentle touch. What do you got?
Boom.
And you're going to go back and forth with that AI engine. And then you're going to say, great, thank you very much. Hey, Siri, call whoever the AI engine recommended, even though it was somebody else's ad.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
totally
the craziest
it's the same,
thing, man.
same,
How
same
could you
process.
spend all that money on PPC traffic, pay-per lead traffic, or pay-per-click traffic, and then have your ad be promoting somebody else's business
practice
because they are optimized for AI and you're not? Insane.
AI isn't just changing dentistry, it's completely redefining it. Tune into Bite-Size Podcast, the dental AI and tech podcast, and stay ahead of the curve.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bite-Size Podcast. I have brought on an AI SEO guru here, Ridgely Goldsborough. What's up, Ridgely? How you doing?
Good to be here, man. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. It's nice to have you on. I appreciate you taking the time. I actually didn't even know you until I watched Todd Snyder's podcast, and he brought you on to talk about AI, SEO, or GEO, or AO, or whatever you want to call it. And I just thought, dude, this guy and I could probably riff on some pretty fun stuff. So I wanted to bring you on after that. So a little bit of a props to Todd for his podcast.
Great guy. He knows a lot and very respected in the industry. So it's always good to hang with Todd.
Yeah, Todd's fun. So for our audience who don't know who you are, give us like the 30,000 foot view of who you are, how you landed in dental. Tell us about your company really quick, just so we kind of get some reference points on you.
So I'm one of those psychologically unemployable serial entrepreneurs. Started 45 different companies, 2 or 3 were quite successful. 3 or 4 were moderately successful, and the rest were highly educational.
I've been through one of those educational ones, man.
Yeah, right.
It was rough.
You learn more from those than from the other ones.
Yeah.
And so I had a very unique experience. I first had an event company that was focused on selling personal development, personal growth products to the direct marketing or direct sales or network marketing industry. And we were doing very well. And all of a sudden this thing called 9/11 happened. And every single event
this is a while back. Okay, gotcha.
A while back, right? So but there's a reason for this.
Yeah.
So 9/11 happened, and with my nut at 10K a day, that was the end of that company. Done, finished. Immediately. You could read the tea leaves on that.
Yep.
So flash forward 20 years, and I'm speaking all over the world, doing world tours on a regular basis on the CEO circuit, passing the message out there to some good folks. And all of a sudden, this thing called the pandemic hits. And I watched every single gig I had get canceled immediately. And I'm like, what? Dude, like there's some kind of weird deja vu going on here. Like this happened to me 20 years ago, and now it just happened again. And fortunately, I've been involved in the digital marketing world for a really long time. And through the period of the pandemic, I discovered that the food's better at my house. My bed is more comfortable. I like my yoga studio, and my wife still likes me.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I was on the road 50 to 60% of the time and going all the time. Realized I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And took all the past maybe 15 years that I've been doing digital marketing and said, you know what? Of all the digital marketing spaces, what do I like best? I've tried verticals in legal. I've tried it in banking. I've tried it in chiropractic. I've tried it in accounting and dentists. And I figured out lawyers fight with you. Accountants are cheap. Chiropractors don't have any money. Bankers only do everything by committee. I love dentists. End of story. And I said, you know what? We're going to focus all of our efforts on the dental vertical.
Yeah.
And really try to figure out what are the things that truly work, taking from all those industries.
Yeah.
And then, of course, flash forward a couple more years and AI kicked in. And when AI hit, it took me about 2 months of, oh man, do I really have to learn another thing, whatever? And then I said, wait a second, this is the biggest thing to hit the internet since the internet.
Exactly. Yeah,
and I dove in big time, and now we run an AI mastermind, and The only reason I run the AI mastermind is to make sure that I personally stay on top of AI developments so that I can help dentists, because I love dentists and I'm very, very happy in the dental space. I know you are too, Adrian. And I just think dentists are great. And they're also busy. And if they're good dentists, elite dentists, which is who we work with most of the time, that means that they're in the drill, baby, drill mode, right? If they ain't drilling, they ain't billing. And if they're drilling, they ain't got time to talk to me. And I'm good with that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I echo that, man. I landed in dental kind of out of the blue, and we tried other industries. And I'm telling you, working in the dental industry is it's a really great place to be. I love the people.
Me too.
They pay their bills. They need help. You know, it's big enough, not too small, but it's small enough that it's not too big. It's just it's a great industry. So that's awesome.
And it's caring people for the most part. Even when I have a client say, hey, we're going to go in a different direction or whatever, it's never ugly. It's never confrontational. It's never weird. All I want to do is say, hey, let me help you transition somewhere. By the way, it happens very, very rarely, but it does happen. I'm like, hey, man, cool. I'll help you. I'm here to help you. And by the way, I'm still your friend. And by the way, I'm still a trusted advisor. So if you feel like you want to call me about something, something that you're doing with somebody else, call me. By the way, this is a phone. It's weird. It's designed to actually call people, right? It's kind of a weird thing, but you can actually pick up the phone.
It's not a texting device?
Dude, I actually answer my phone and I call people. Just saying.
That's brilliant. I love it. That'll pay off in the long run big time, because the dental industry is so small. If you're kind and you're honest and you work hard, it comes back. Back to you.
I very much feel that way, for sure.
All right, let's just jump into SEO, AI SEO. Okay. So I'm super excited about this conversation because I don't know where this is going to go. For the audience, I have set a little bit of an outline of where this is going to go. But when you get into AI SEO, we could go dystopian really quick. So we're going to try and contain this to some degree so that it's super interesting. But let's kick it off with this. Let me kind of set the stage a little bit. In what I've noticed in the last couple years since ChatGPT launched in November 2022, is that zero-click searches are going up. And I want you to explain what zero-click searches are, okay? And that the AI overviews in Google Gemini are part of that problem. But there is a massive, huge shift happening in SEO that most people, unless you're neck deep in this stuff, you don't know what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. And so I want you to I want you to talk a little bit about zero-click search. And I also want you to tell me a little bit about how the AI platforms. So 2 questions. We'll start with the zero-click search, but then the second question I want to ask you is LLMs like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Perplexity, primarily those 3, are becoming the gatekeeper for practices, or becoming the front door, I could say, of dental practices rather than their website. Okay. So let's start with zero-click searches and help the audience understand what I'm talking about when I say that. What's going on?
So first of all, here's the deal. We as human beings, our nature is to do what's easiest. So correct. I'd rather talk than type.
Right.
And if tools make it easy for me to talk so that I don't have to type, then I'm going to talk instead of type. And that is exactly what's happening with the AI tools. You now have AI tools on your phone, and therefore you can pick up the phone and say, hey, ChatGPT, and start talking to it. Hey, Gemini, and start talking. That means that if it's easier for me to talk, then I am not going to type. I'm not going to spend the time, for example, to do this. I'm missing a couple of teeth. I've got a wedding coming up and I need a dentist. I'm not going to type all that in if all I have to do is say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm missing a couple of teeth. I'm scared of the dentist. I need somebody who's going to be really kind and gentle in my area. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
Notice that so far, I have not typed anything. 0 clicks so far. ChatGPT comes back and says, yes, well, Dr. Adrian in your area is really great. He's got a great reputation, lots of long reviews. Would you like me to let you know about his hours? Yeah, that'd be great. Tell me about the hours if you don't mind. No clicks so far. And then conversation goes long enough for the person to feel satisfied. Now, this is really critical because when the person is satisfied, that means they're not looking anywhere else.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. AI does not control the content of your phone. And therefore, the ability to say, hey, call that practice directly to AI at this point does not exist.
It's not yet.
Unless
Not
you
yet.
let the phone. So some people are going to do this. They're going to say, is that enough? Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. That's all I need for now. And then they're going to say, hey, Siri, call Adrian.
Right.
And now it's already calling. I'm like, no. Don't mean call Adrian, really. But so if you notice, I made 0 clicks. All I did was talk and then say call. And the same thing would apply if I'm wearing a watch that I can talk to, a pair of glasses that I can talk to, a headset that I can talk to. If I'm driving and I can talk instead of typing, I'm going to talk, not type, leading to 0 clicks. And this is super important to understand because knowing the nature of human beings, the further along we get with this process, the more evolved AI tools become, the less you're going to need to type. So over the course of time, people are not going to do this anymore. And things like sedation dentist near Adrian is going to become, hey, can you find me a sedation dentist around here that's close by? I really want to make sure somebody's got a lot of great reviews.
Yeah.
You got to talk to the tool in the way that people talk to AI.
Right. Okay. Now, so you're talking about mobile apps and stuff like that. ChatGPT, Google Gemini's mobile app, Siri, which is kind of dog shit right now, but I'm sure Apple's going to step the game up on Siri, so it'll become a better LLM or whatever. It'll piggyback on somebody. On a desktop, because a lot of people still use their computer, inside of Google, you now have, when you go to Google, there's the AI mode. And the chatter online, and actually Google's kind of said that this is where it's going, is that AI mode will be the new interface for Google eventually. Okay. So you're going to be interacting with an AI. When you go to the little field, the search bar, you can just click the mic and talk to your desktops. It's the same process, right?
Yeah.
So what you're getting is search phrases that are really, really, really long. What I've noticed in my own personal habits is that because AI is so damn good at understanding sentiment and context, that the longer my search phrases are and the more context that I give it, the better my output is that I get.
Well,
so if I use a long search phrase, go ahead.
Maybe and maybe not. So let's just.
I like this. I like controversy, man. Let's do this.
You are right. So my historical way of doing things is writing long prompts. And now I talk long prompts instead of writing long prompts. But my partner, who's a wizard, he's a geek, super geek AI dude, online, 3:00 in the morning forum kind of dude.
Got it.
Said, yes, you can do that. But if you want more options, you got to make it shorter. So AI can
gotcha.
think. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a specific answer, yes. But if you're brainstorming, shorter is better so that AI can do some of the thinking for you.
You're right. I didn't realize that. So if I search, hey, ChatGPT, or hey, Google, I'm in Google AI mode, and I click the mic button, and I say, hey, I'm in Draper, Utah. Who's the best dentist near me? That's a fairly short phrase. It's going to give me a lot of options, and I can do a little bit of additional research.
Correct.
But if I want something that's like a sniper, I want something that's exactly what I want, I would say, hey, Google, I am in Draper, Utah. I can't find I need to find a dentist that's open on Saturdays that can pull a tooth. And I have Delta Dental as a dental insurance. Can you find somebody, blah, blah, blah. And it'll give me one option. It'll give me a dentist, right? And I can even say a dentist with more than 500 Google reviews.
Yeah.
Right.
And
or something like that.
It might say, well, it might come back to you and say, yes, I found 2 for you. There's ABC Dental that fits that criteria, and CDE Dental that also fits the criteria. Let me tell you a little bit about them. And then you can interface back and forth.
Right.
But you're not going to get the 10 blue links that used to be SEO heaven, if you're in the 10 blue
Right.
links, the top 3, whatever, those don't matter anymore. Well,
No,
not
they
completely.
don't. They're going to kind of like, they'll probably go away, and they might still be on the page, but nobody's going to use them. They're starting to not use them right now. That's why we're saying 0 click. So 0 click on a desktop is kind of the idea that even if you type into, say, Google AI mode or ChatGPT, your query, it's not giving you a set of links. That's way down on the page now. They're giving you the AI overview at top on Gemini, and they're giving you ChatGPT is just giving you its answer. And you're getting something that's so clear. It's so close to what you want. You're not actually clicking on a link and landing on a web page. You're getting your answer in the AI is giving the answer.
That's right. Which means you're not going to keep searching. And this is so critical, Adrian, for people to get this, because if you're not paying attention to AI and the searches continue to move in the direction that they're moving, which they will, because people would rather talk than type. Let's face it, everybody would rather talk than type. Then it means that you don't even know if somebody's looking for you or not looking for you. The attribution piece is not there yet.
Right.
So if you're not paying attention, you're suffering death by 1,000 cuts, and you don't even realize that you're bleeding.
You don't even know it. You don't even know it.
Super dangerous, man. I was talking to a doc this afternoon a little bit earlier who's doing really well. And I said, look, you're doing well. Here's the deal. You don't need my services. And I live in an abundant place. And I think your marketing agency, whatever their name is, I didn't even ask them what the name was, should continue doing your work. But I do recommend that you add in some AI stuff, add in some AI optimization, because otherwise, the guy said, great, can you send me something? So I did. Didn't try to take the business away from anybody else. There's no need to do that. I don't believe in that. But do I think that almost everybody out there, if you're running an elite practice, that you need AI stuff? Man, I think you're crazy if you don't think you do.
Yeah, you will. It's kind of like, I kind of liken this to like 2009, 2010, right around when we started our company, and Google reviews kind of came out, right? And all of a sudden, over the years, as people kind of like the consumer started using the review platform as a social proof statement, it became unbelievably vital that you have a freaking awesome review profile, because it doesn't matter how much money you spend on marketing, like 3/4 of people are going to check out your review profile. And like, if it looks like shit, then they're not going to call. It doesn't matter how much money you're spending on marketing. So you don't know you're getting the call because your profile is not dialed in. And you're kind of saying the same thing. Like, you don't know if you're missing out on business because the tracking is that. Repeat what I'm saying. Am I saying this correctly?
It gets worse, man. It gets worse. Imagine you're thinking about, and let's talk about high-end cases, right? Full mouth restorations, smile makeovers, something that's got some real money to it, that costs some real money.
Yeah.
You've been thinking about it. So maybe you've gone into AI a couple times and you've asked a bunch of questions, and you've got some basic information about what a full mouth restoration is going to cost. You've got you know how long it's going to take. You've done enough research, but you haven't pulled the trigger quite yet, right? Okay. And then you're getting close to some big event, and you see an ad for full mouth, get a smile makeover. We'll give you a new beautiful smile.
Yeah, somebody else. Yeah, somebody. Okay, somebody's got an ad out there. Got it. Wherever, it doesn't matter. Billboard, TikTok ad, whatever.
You're not going to click on the ad. Remember, we're in an era of 0 clicks. What you're going to do is you're going to pick up the phone because you saw an ad, and you're going to say, hey, Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, who does full mouth restorations in my town? And oh, by the way, I want somebody who has got great reviews and is known for a gentle touch. What do you got?
Whoa.
And you're going to go back and forth with that AI engine. And then you're going to say, great, thank you very much. Hey, Siri, call whoever the AI engine recommended, even though it was somebody else's ad.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
totally.
The craziest
it's the same,
thing, man.
same process.
You get all that money on PPC traffic, pay-per lead traffic, or pay-per-click traffic, and then have your ad be promoting somebody else's business because they are optimized for AI and you're not. Insane.
It's the same concept as this Google review thing 10 years ago. It really
Yeah.
is. If you had a bitchin' Google review profile, you're picking up business from other practices advertising day in and day out. Just crazy. This
It's great.
brings up I read an article like a couple of weeks ago, and it was a research article on AI. It was for ChatGPT specifically. And what they were doing is they were looking at the buying behavior or the conversion of people who did a search just in regular search and people who did a search in ChatGPT related to products, like buying shoes or clothes or whatever, right? Retail stuff. And they found that when someone goes to ChatGPT and they put a query in and ChatGPT recommends a particular product, there was a 400 to 800% increase in the conversion to a purchase over traditional search. Okay. So there's like a level of trustworthiness that is already embedded in AI. Like, nobody came to the market and said AI is going to be a great social proof statement. Like, AI is actually going to give you better results. People are already just naturally thinking that if ChatGPT gives me it says, buy this shoe, that they actually do. They actually buy the damn shoe. It's freaking weird.
Well, let's talk about that
what's
for a second,
happening with that?
because I think it goes back again to human psychology.
Okay.
If I interact with an AI engine, it's an iterative process. I'm going back and forth with the engine. If I'm just searching for something and I land on a website, now I got to poke around the website.
You got to do the research.
I got to do the work. AI is doing the work for you, and therefore the recommendation built on trust and the expertise of whoever's showing up in the AI search, because obviously they're better than the people who are not optimized for AI, builds that level of trust, and that interactivity makes me satisfied that this is a good choice far more than clicking to another website, click to another website, click to another website, and which one resonates with me and which one's got the right messaging and does that face talk to me the way I want it to talk to me. It's just a much more profound experience to interact with AI than doing searching yourself. So of course it's going to be a better conversion.
Yeah. There's almost, and then the crazy thing is at least in my experience, the results that I'm getting from my query are actually probably how I would make my decision if I did the research myself. It's like freaking kind of a little bit bizarre that AI is now helping to determine consumers' behavior or patient behavior. I had a doctor call us like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. He called us out of the blue. He says, I don't know who you guys are, but I went to ChatGPT and I asked it to help me find the best dental marketing company, or some phrase like that, right? Mm-hmm. ChatGPT recommended us, and he just called us and signed up.
Yeah.
It's freaking crazy, right? It's like, holy shit, it worked.
Well, man, but some of the stuff that you can do is so ridiculous. Literally last night, I am standing on a ladder with my wife putting up Christmas lights outside, right?
Okay.
And I get a call from a friend of mine saying, hey, I've had a really rough weekend. My girlfriend broke up with me, or my boyfriend broke up with me, and I'm supposed to do a study presentation in 45 minutes, and I'm just completely lost. And I know you have some material. Can you help me out? Yeah. And I immediately start chuckling to myself because they don't know how much I know about AI. Right. So I'm like, yeah, man, no problem. I got you. Don't even worry about it. I'll have it to you in 45 minutes. And then I went back to futzing with the lights for another 25 minutes. Right. Because I knew that I would get online, get on my favorite AI engine, knock out a bunch of stuff. And within 7 minutes, I would have a 5-page presentation broken down by sections that sent it over to him way better than he could have ever come up with himself doing research for a week and a half. And to not take advantage of this is crazy. But what's crazier is to not think it's affecting you, because that's the danger zone.
That's the death by 1,000 cuts idea.
Yeah.
It is affecting you. You just don't know it.
That's right. And you're going to find out the hard way when your new patient volume goes down and you're wondering why. What's happening to my new patient volume? It's down. Okay, the industry's down over last year. Great. Sorry. Well, but that doesn't mean your volume has to be down.
Right.
What it means is if you don't optimize for AI, guaranteed that those who do are going to take your patients. Guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. So to wrap this concept, this idea up here is we've got a few things happening. Voice search is taking over. I mean, the statistics are pretty clear. The younger generation, younger than us, is heavily into voice search. As the apps start adding conversational AI and voice search to the apps, and it becomes more and more or easier to communicate with your computer through voice talking, and like all the software coming out now is like all about voice search. Like so much of it is about voice search. It extends the search phrases, which changes the way you might optimize a website. We can talk about that later if we need to. We've also got the zero-click issue, which is that search is fundamentally changing. People are not, your patients are likely not going to click through to your website because they're getting their answer in AI, and they're either getting a phone number. Like I did some searches today, long tail keys, long tail search phrases, like kind of like the ones we were given earlier, like, hey, I need to get a tooth pulled. I need somebody on Saturdays, blah, blah, blah. It just gave me the doctor and the phone number. And I would just pull my phone out and call it, right? So I'm not clicking anywhere. I'm just taking action right from the AI response. So we got those things happening. And we also have this other effect that was something I wouldn't have predicted, which is that we just trust the result. There's a level of trust embedded somehow in AI responses. We're giving it the research capability, or it has the research capability. And so we trust the response as much as a referral.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No,
Fair
I
enough?
think it just speaks to the same thing, which is you must optimize for AI, because otherwise you're going to wake up, whether it's middle of next year, end of next year, it's not that much further away.
No, it's
Wondering
not.
what the
It's
hell
already
happened to your
happened.
health practice.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about websites then. So with this whole zero-click kind of phenomenon, what's the purpose of a website? I mean, I can actually see a day possibly in the near future, next few years, where if things line up kind of the way they're lining up now, you're just not going to get anybody clicking on your website. You're going to get very, very few people willing to do the research to go to your website and read about you, right?
Yes.
Are
However,
you in line with me on that?
I am, but with a caveat.
Okay.
And the caveat is this: the website informs AI engines.
That's where I was going. Good.
Yeah, that's the point. So the point is that the website is not going to be necessarily the place that does the conversion for you from a patient perspective. But in terms of informing the AI engines that are going to recommend you while somebody is using an AI tool, you better have that thing dialed in. And it's not the same website you used to have. This is a website that must emphasize EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, which are the guiders by which Google, in this case, the 800-pound gorilla that has the data, including the data that Grok, Perplexity, and everybody else use, is still Google's data, by the way. Important to understand that.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to go to judge, are you the right person for me to recommend through the AI engine? So even though the website is not going to be the direct tool, so to speak, for the foreseeable future, I don't know whether that's
it might. Year. Who knows what'll happen? But that I'm seeing it the same way you're seeing it, for sure. Yeah. So here's my question. You got to have the
authority. It's got to be there. It's got to be on the site. Your site has to be designed for AI,
right?
Not just. I mean, yes, it's got to be designed to look pretty and all that stuff, but that's secondary, because a website is a website is a website. If you got the information, you got some good smiles, you got some before and afters, you got some reviews, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
However, if that website is not designed to inform AI about who you are in an authoritative way that builds trust, you're not going to show up in the AI engines.
So I want you to give now this is a conversation that could take days, talking about what to do on a website. But for the audience, just give us like a couple things to help them understand, like, what is AI actually looking for when they look at your website? Because this kind of gets into how you've developed your AI product, how we've developed our AI product to basically do what you're talking about. So let's give them a little piece here to help them understand kind of what we're talking about.
So I would break it into two completely separate segments.
Okay.
One is the human segment, and the other is the bots and crawlers and AI language segment.
Okay.
On the human segment, what AI is looking for is matches to the way people would speak. So instead of saying sedation dentistry, the easy way to laugh your way through your treatment, which nobody would say, right?
Dream your way through
Exactly what somebody would say. So the exact same caption written for AI says, "Is sedation dentistry right for me?" Question mark.
It's
Because
a question.
that's how somebody's going to speak it into the AI engine.
Right.
So the language must be AI friendly. And by AI friendly, I mean the way a human being would interact with an
Right.
AI tool. So on the one hand, you've got to rewrite your content to not be third party, but rather first party for the most part.
Right.
In present tense, so that it's as if someone was speaking it. So the AI engine finds that right match. Is sedation dentistry right for me? Right there on your website.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
So we have, on the one hand, you have the human side. What is the easiest, probably the best way to get as much of that as possible into your site? Frequently asked questions.
FAQs. Yep.
Think about FAQs that are built using AI-friendly language, not titles and captions, the way someone would ask
a question. Right.
Can I drive myself home after sedation? Not sedation dentistry, easy to recover from. No.
Or sedation dentistry in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, no. That doesn't work. So first you've got the human side. Then on the other side, for bots and crawlers, they want to see that you have the authority, that you know what you're talking about. So depthy articles that are not fluff, that are not repetitive, that are not AI generated answers with no meat on the bone are not going to help you. If you're talking about, let's go back to sedation dentistry, a blog article that's going to help you in an AI engine is different types of, what are the best type of sedation dentistry for me? And then you go into, okay, there's gas, and then there's a pill, and then there's IV sedation, and there's whatever. And there's a nice breakdown of all of those things so that when AI looks around, they see, wow, this practice, Dr. Adrian, he really knows what he's talking about. He broke this whole thing down in a very comprehensive manner that gives some value, has some meat on the bone. So that's going to contribute to the AI engine saying, this is the guy, he knows what he's talking about.
Okay, before you jump onto bots and crawlers a little bit more, let me riff on this a little bit. So one of the interesting things as I was figuring all this AI stuff out over the last few years is the way in which the AI does its searching. Okay, so going back to your example of like kind of traditional SEO is matching a phrase, a typed in phrase like, who's the best dentist in Austin, Texas? And Google would take that phrase. I'm trying to stay in frame here. It would take that phrase and it would look for those words. It would look for that phrase. And so if you had written an article for one of your clients that says, who's the best dentist in Austin, Texas? And that's the name of the article. That article might show up as a link in the organic links. And then they would click on it and go read the article. That's kind of how traditional search was done. Now, when you put a phrase into an AI engine, not only is the phrase probably going to be a lot longer because you're doing voice search and that kind of stuff, but it actually takes that phrase, it breaks it up, and the AI analyzes the phrase. It looks at it for context and sentiment, and it might create multiple questions that are relatable to that, right? And then what it does is it fans out across the internet, and it finds not just websites, not just blog articles, it finds chunks. This is the phrase, the word they're using, right? Chunks of copy. So it might find an article for that sedation article you just talked about, but it might not reference the whole article. It might go down to the 6th paragraph and find a question there that you put a question in and the answer, and it takes that chunk and it pulls it in. And then it grabs another chunk from over here and then another chunk from over here and here and here. And it gets like 10 or 15 or 20 sources that it brings into its brain. And then it uses that to create its own response. So that when you look at the AI overview, basically what you're looking at is you're not looking at copy that's been, are words that have been copied from somewhere. It's a generated response from all these chunks, and it's referencing or citing, so it creates a citation of where it grabbed that information from.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point of writing copy with FAQs or writing copy slightly different, you're not writing long narrative posts. You're writing information that might get picked up as a source, like a chunk, right? So you're fundamentally changing the way that you write copy.
Correct. That's
Fair?
exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly
Now,
right.
I think that explanation was like, oh, holy cow, that's how it works. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're a marketing person and you got a team of copywriters, it changes everything in how you deliver your product. You have to get somebody that's good enough to write in the way that AI will pick it up.
Yes. And make sure that it is simple, clean, easy. When you really complicate stuff, it just doesn't work anymore because there's not going to be references. And to take a large language model even further, now this is getting super geeky over here. So I'm going to keep this very, very short. But
I love geeks.
Basically, AI is spitting back responses in pieces of words, little blocks.
Yeah.
Tick, 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 tick. So it's grabbing all this data and it's going tick, 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 tick. And when you put more data in there, then immediately it shifts the whole thing around and tick, 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 tick. It's an active, living, thinking, so to speak, artificial brain. Right. And that's exactly why it takes so much compute power to do AI. Right. Why did very briefly Larry Ellison, for about a week, become the richest guy on the planet above Elon Musk? Because he cut 4 deals with data centers that Oracle has for AI users, right? For a minute. It took Elon caught up and again, no worries. So we're not worried about Elon. He's doing all right.
You're going to be fine, dude. Don't worry about it.
But the amount of compute power that is needed to operate this constantly moving machine is so huge. That's why Google de-indexed all those pages back in June, end of May, all through June. Yep. That's why, if you think about it, there's a war going on behind the scenes between Grok, Perplexity, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, and Google, because Google doesn't want those other guys to pull the data over and give responses to whatever your favorite tool is. You like Grok, you're going to go there, but you still got to get the data from Google. So there's a whole thing going on. And my premise is this, Adrian, and it's a big concept. I don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And if
it's Big Brother for sure.
If that's the case, then my premise is that it's even more important to do AI and to optimize for AI, because you don't even know what's coming.
Yeah.
So if you're not at least out there in the forefront of this thing, you might get killed.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, so, absolutely. There's no, it's like the revolution is happening right now. And it's a silent revolution. Nobody knows what's going on.
And oh, by the way, let's just briefly flash on the other side. The other side is this. If you do really spend some time and pay attention and do what you got to do, you're way ahead of everybody else. You're the one taking their patients.
Right.
So which side of the equation you want to be on? Having patients taken away from you that you don't even know that are being taken away from you, or being the one that's benefiting from being on the cutting edge, getting ahead of everybody else so that you're the one taking the patients.
Yeah.
Not rocket science, but very real.
Great. That's awesome. Let me mention one or two other little things to kind of help build the picture on what's going on when you build an AI service like we've built, or when a doctor's thinking, do I need AI? What the hell are they going to be doing? So when ChatGPT first came out, I wrote several articles and I made an ebook all about how SEO is dead. Okay. I thought it was a kind of a sexy, topic. I thought it was kind of like,
provocative. It's good.
Provocative was the word I was looking for.
I know.
And the reality of it is SEO is not dead at all. No, like the things you do in traditional SEO, like making sure your website is wicked fast. There's no broken links. Everything's compressed. You've got great schema markup on your website. When Google goes and looks at your site, they know what the hell's they're looking at, right?
Yeah.
So all of the traditional SEO is still foundational to AI SEO. It's
That's
just,
right.
it's not going away. So I read some stuff the other day that the AI engines, because they're working in real time and they're analyzing so much data, they have to be able to go to your website and gather data in 800 milliseconds. That's like the upper threshold. So if your site, and I don't know exactly, I'm not the best person to talk about this. Maybe you are, but if your site is loading slow, then your website doesn't become a source for AI, and AI will go to your website almost all the time to gather data. It's a high value source for answering questions in AI. But if your website's slow and the AI can't get the information quicker because it doesn't load fast enough, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So
I know. I'm about to have a really fun conversation with the doc. It looks like they're coming on board with us because they've got this site, and you land on the site and the thing starts moving and the beach is there and there's some palm trees and stuff and whatever. And it's beautiful. It really is. It's a great looking site. And the conversation I'm about to have is, and let me explain to you why we're about to kill those videos.
why this is why we're taking the videos off your site.
Yeah. We don't have to take them off the site, but we got to put them to where they're boxed so that somebody has to click play, because otherwise the core vitals on the site are too slow. Yeah. And you can't afford to have that. So I've got a couple docs, they fight with me, and I'm like, look, man, I'm here to serve you, to get you results. I know you love your site. I know that lots of patients have come in and said, oh, doc, your site is so beautiful, but it's slowing down your core vitals, and AI is not going to find you the way they need to. Why don't we put this in a little box, and we can say something above the box like, we believe in getting to know you, get to know us, click the video, and let somebody click on the freaking thing, and then you're fine.
Yeah. And the issue here is just for those who are not following what you're talking about, is that if the video automatically plays, that's computing power and it has to load and start playing. It slows the website down. But if you click to play it, then it doesn't have to preload. It can be there, but it doesn't slow the site down.
Correct.
So I think that what's important here is just like marketing. I used to think that when we started our company, I was like, God, man, Dennis could do a lot of this stuff. I don't know why they pay us. They could really just do it. And now I've been doing this for 15 years. I am absolutely convinced that a dentist cannot do their own marketing. It's too complex. Like, to know that you got to put a play button on your video rather than having play automatically is like a big factor for site speed, which is a big factor for training the AI agents. And the whole issue we just talked about. Like, dude, you got to get somebody to help you. It's too freaking unbelievably difficult.
And it changes so fast. Way too fast. Man, I mean, I remember, and not only that, you got to be with somebody like an Adrian that is staying on the cutting edge, so that when the new thing comes out,
you can make an adjustment.
With our docs, because there's going to be something new. Right now, we're all like kicking it. We're rolling into the Christmas holidays here. It's happened to be this time of year, and everybody's going to halfway go to sleep. But I'll bet you there's a bunch of super geeks over at Grok, at Perplexity, at DeepSeek, at ChatGPT, and at Gemini that are not sleeping.
No, they're working through the holidays.
And we're going to wake up in January and go, what? What just happened? There's no way a doc can do that. There's no way. No. Otherwise, they're not practicing dentistry.
You and I are probably reading this stuff all day, every day, and I can't even keep up with it.
Yeah, man.
I can't even keep up with it.
No. I have a
All
lot
right.
of geeks.
All right. So I have a, let's kind of wrap. We could keep going, dude. We'll do another one of these for sure. Okay.
All right.
But I want to wrap this up with like a future idea, kind of like what's going to happen. So
Awesome.
I want to give you a scenario. You tell me if this is possible and how far out you think it will happen. Okay.
Okay.
So all products and services in the dental industry need to make things simpler for the patient. Okay. So in terms of marketing, the simplest thing for a patient in order to find a dentist and schedule an appointment would be this scenario. Okay. I pull my phone out. I say, hey, ChatGPT, I don't have a dentist right now, but I've got Delta Dental and I want to schedule a cleaning. I haven't been to a cleaning for freaking ever. And I work until 4 p.m. every week. And so I need to find a dentist that's open at 5, something like that. And ChatGPT does its research and says back to me, I found a dentist and they're actually only a couple miles away from your practice. I've done all the research. They're great practice. They've been established for this long, blah, 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 blah. Here's all their credentials. Would you like for me to schedule an appointment for you? And I say, yeah. Do they have anything available on Thursday after 4 p.m.? And he says, let me check. And ChatGPT then speaks to an AI agent at the practice, okay, who has access to the schedule. So we're talking about what's called agentic AI, right? 2 AIs communicating with each other in order to deliver a result. ChatGPT speaks to the agent over at the practice, opens the schedule, sees that there's an appointment at 4:30 on Thursday and says, would you like for me to schedule the appointment? I say, yeah. Schedules the appointment, done. I hang up, I scheduled my appointment. Now, if I'm a consumer, I might banter back and forth to get a little more information or whatever, but it is. But that process, I pick up my phone and I basically schedule an appointment like I'm ordering DoorDash. That's what the consumer is going to want. How far away are we from that? Is that possible now? And if it's not, do you think that's where it's going? And how far away is it?
So the answer is it is 100% possible right now. However, there's some howevers here.
Okay.
The challenge with that is that AI and the data in your phone are separate.
Right.
They're completely separate. So the way that works, that can only work if you voluntarily give your AI engine of choice access to the data in your phone.
Got it.
Now, the problem, the data in your phone probably also contains credit card numbers,
right,
all kinds of passwords, etc., which is the reason why there's a separation between church and state, AI and phone data. If you give AI access, which you can do, then it can do everything you just suggested right now. Do I think there's going to be resistance for a while? Yes, I think there's going to be resistance.
Privacy issues.
People,
absolutely. Hacking, cybersecurity. Yeah.
And rightly so. And then what's going to happen is you're going to hear these horror stories about somebody who gave access to their phone to an AI agent and suddenly their bank accounts were emptied or whatever.
Right.
And so there's not enough. So the answer to your question is it's available right now, but under conditions that are not very safe. So my expectation is that it's going to be another 6 months, whatever.
12, a year, 2 years, maybe. Who knows?
Or maybe even you get to a place where some people I can see literally setting up just for efficiencies. I got a debit card. I put X amount of money into this debit account. This debit card is available for all the functions that I authorize on my phone. And then the debit card pays the bill. The debit card does this, the debit, etc. But it's isolated away from a main bank account, so that somebody doesn't have their stuff drained.
Yeah, so, that's actually that's a really good idea. Yeah.
So can it be done right now? 100% it can, but there's a lot of resistance because of the rightful separation between the phone, the data that exists in your phone, and what AI has access to.
Yeah. But it's coming.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'll tell you, man, as a consumer, like that's the end all be all. Like if you could just say, ChatGPT, order me those shoes on Amazon, done. Hey, ChatGPT, can you schedule my appointment with the dentist? Done. Like I don't have to make a call. I don't have to text anybody. It knows my schedule. It's like that's where this is going. So with that future, like it just fundamentally changes how you do your marketing, right? And going back to our first kind of banter on this, it's like, dude, AI is now the gateway to all of your patient acquisition. It's just going to be, that's what's going to happen.
Well, for sure. And more than that, they're going to help with scheduling. They're going to help with all kinds of stuff in the office and your team members. Of course, there's the patient facing team members. So there's that interaction that happens, but the behind the scenes team members are going to be managing AI employees, not people employees.
Right.
They're going to be managing AI employees because it's more effective, it's more efficient, it's cheaper. And that's where we're going. That the people who are, it's not that, there used to be this, the old saying, AI is going to take jobs. And then it became AI is going to take away the jobs from the people who don't use AI. And now I think it's going to be AI is going to take the jobs away from the people who don't understand how to use AI employees. I think
Yes.
Keeps evolving.
Absolutely. Like in my company, I've got one employee who we are helping pay for. He's a geek. He's the guy at 3:00 in the morning, like your buddy. Okay. And, we're investing in this employee so that this employee can understand how to manage all of the AI tools and automations that we're using to deliver our services, which are super complex. And we're doing all sorts of crazy fun stuff. So I have to have somebody on my team that knows how to run the AI systems. Right. And that's a very specialized skill, very specialized.
That's exactly
so cool. All right. Ridgely, dude, you're a freaking stud. I love it. It's so fun. We could keep going. I'll come up with, we're definitely gonna do this again. We'll come up with another crazy topic, but can you just mention the name of your company really quick again? And then I will put all of your contact information in the description. So if you want to reach out to Ridgely, you do basically everything in digital marketing. Do you not?
Yeah,
pretty much.
everything.
Okay. Definitely AI SEO. So
because docs want you to do everything, man. They want you to, they
don't
want to do 10 different people.
They don't want to deal with 5 different
one
companies.
source, whatever. So name of the company is Dental Market Dominator, dentalmarketdominator.com. And we work with elite dentists only. So
what's an elite dentist?
Basically, if it's not a practice doing $250,000 a month or more, not our client.
If you're not doing $250,000 a month or more, you call me. If you're doing more than $250,000 a month, call Ridgely.
And I will send all those people to you, man. It's all good. There's an abundant world out there. There's no need to, fight for anything. We can just support each other. Love that.
I love it, dude. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Oh man, this is so much fun. An hour just blew by like nothing. We could do this.
That was 50 minutes. Holy cow. Wow.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, bro.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Take care, brother.
Thanks for listening to Byte Size Podcast. Tune in to stay up to date with everything dental AI and tech